Hey, I posted a video that a lot of you like where I talked about how to become an exceptional caregiver so that you are earning a minimum of 1,000 every week. You could actually earn more depending on the kind of client that you get. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about was how to create a roadmap for your healthcare career. Yes, how to create a pathway so that you can get to where you want to be. Because I remember in my early days when I started, and I've worked in 3 different countries doing healthcare, what I realized was there was no clear roadmap for you to grow professionally, except you were proactive about it. And if you're not proactive about it, you will find that you are just, filling in the numbers, making sure there's no shortage. Yes, shortage is there, but it is not your responsibility to take those kind of challenges on your shoulders. Your part is to make sure that you're developing your career as a healthcare professional. So I'm going to talk about that. You can start as a caregiver and end up doing medicine if you like, depending on how determined you are, because you can decide, you know what, this is where I want to be. I don't want to stay in the same space. You may have been in healthcare for many years even now. Perhaps by now it's time for you to think about starting your own agency. Have you thought about that? Or have you thought, well, it's not for me because of maybe how you've interacted with other agencies and you feel like it's not for you? But can you do something else? This is why I'm coaching on this. On this podcast or on this video, what we're going to talk about is being intentional about your career. Otherwise, you'll be spending energy working for other people and never getting to where you need to be, never quite accomplishing your own personal goals. Because one of the things I saw about working in healthcare is you can get so bogged down, just overwhelmed, and your own life doesn't feel like it's working. And so you have to decide, how do I make my life work? So you are gaining years of wisdom and insight from what I'm going to talk about. So we're going to talk about perhaps you start as a caregiver, or you may be an ex-nurse who has decided to be a caregiver and you want to reassess, where do I take my career now? Where do I go? Do I start my own business? Do I go back to uni? Do I go back to college? So that's what we're going to talk about. So I don't know where you're watching from. Wherever you're watching from, leave some comments below. By the way, don't forget, leave some comments down below. I'm going to look through all the comments, and please subscribe. When you subscribe, you will get some perks when I do a membership. There'll be a membership because I also work as a coach, and in that membership package, you'll get extra attention. You'll get like a weekly call. You'll be a part of the group coaching. You will get access to me because, we will interact by email and all those kind of perks. But what I want you to know right now is I want you to think about your career and where it's going. Is your career taking you where you need to be? Is your career enhancing your life in healthcare, by the way? This segment here is for those of you who are working hard in healthcare and you're not sure which direction to turn, or you are feeling overwhelmed and you want better. Or you may be feeling like, you know what, I really enjoy my work. I want to stay where I am, but I would like to have some options. Let me help you prepare for where you want to go. Number one, I want you to think about what are the areas that you enjoy the most. Which are the areas that you enjoy the most and that come naturally to you? Do you enjoy working in the orthopedic departments, where people are coming, patients are going in and out of theater 24/7, there's a waiting list? Do you prefer the pre-operation stage or departments? Do you prefer theater? Do you prefer intensive care? Do you prefer accident and emergency? Do you prefer working with the elderly in rehabilitation? Or do you prefer working in A&E, in the accident and emergency, the first place that people come when they're involved in an accident? You see, it's good to think about your career even now so that later on, when you look back over the years, you'll be like, oh, I'm so glad that I gave myself options. I'm so glad that I was determined, that I was proactive about my career. Because in healthcare, one of the things I noticed is whatever you want out of your career, it's really up to you. Nobody will tell you. Most departments won't tell you because there's a shortage of staff anyway. People haven't got time to sit down and be like a coach to you. I think most healthcare departments and hospitals would do well with having coaches to help with staff retention, with burnout issues, with toxic working environments. Most healthcare departments would benefit from having a coach because a coach can talk to the staff. A coach is someone who's independent, an outsider, thinking of the well-being of the employees and also bearing in mind that the healthcare institution is a business. So how do you support the staff? A lot of departments would would really get so much benefit working with a coach. So let's go back to you developing your career and moving your career forward. So you are working in this department, bedside nursing, by the way. Let's talk about bedside nursing. Oh my goodness, it can get really tiring. It doesn't matter how kind you are, how attentive you are, how much you enjoy your work, but at some point you are going to feel like, oh, I need to take a break, and you don't have to feel guilty. Listen, you may not have a coach. This is your coaching session for you. Do not feel guilty for wanting more out of your life. Do not feel guilty that you want more out of your career. Do not feel guilty that you want more out of your family life, your social life. Because after all, this is your life, right? You are investing time working in that organization, in that hospital, in that, GP practice, wherever you're working. You are bringing so much value, but sometimes you may feel undervalued. Am I right? You may not feel valued, and if you decide to speak up, you may be shut down. I can completely understand that. So we're talking about you, not about the whole organization, because listen to this. Every organization that we join or work with, it's got its own setup, its own system. What they do is what they do. But you have to think of you. What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Where do you want to be? Right? Because as you think about these things, you realize the power is actually in your hands. And if you feel like, you know what, I've given the best I could, I've contributed to the organization, I've contributed to the human race, I've contributed to the human experience, helping people to recover quickly, helping people to prevent so many types of illnesses, supporting people to take care of their own health. It can be time for you now to consider, is it time for me to start my own business? Is it time for me to start my own journey of creating my life by design? I really enjoy this because this is a journey I had to take. I worked in healthcare for many years in 3 different countries. And so I bring a lot of experience to the table when I'm doing my coaching. But perhaps you've never heard about me. This is the first time you're listening to me and you're like, oh, I don't know. Listen up a little bit more. You can actually go on my YouTube channel and go and see some of the other videos I've posted. You can also check me out on TikTok. You can also check me out on Facebook. You can check me out on Twitter. So you have a feel who I am and what I'm about. But this is my offer to you. If you are exhausted, worn out, just like I want to do something else, get in touch with me. What I created is a roadmap for you. One, if you want to just make your career better and work part-time in healthcare, or you actually want to switch careers now, you want to get into business, you want to travel around the world, you want to work from anywhere in the world, there will be certain skill sets that you will need. And I kid you not, more than the technical side, it is about the mindset. Your mindset transformation is going to be the most important thing before you even do anything else. You're going to have to face your own fears and insecurities when you decide to step out of your comfort zone. Because you're used to how things are done. Patients come in every time. As a business person, clients come in every time. You have no idea. The marketing has been going on. I don't think most organizations even do marketing, because when you're not feeling well, you go look for where the hospital is, right? If you are new in an area, you look for the nearest hospital. You look for the nearest doctor. Where are they, right? That is why those of you who are listening, like, if you are looking for new customers and clients to generate leads, one of the key words is near me. Yes, people are searching near me. But anyway, I sidetrack a little bit. Let's go back. If you want to start out a whole new journey, start part-time. It's the best advice I can give you. Start part-time. Why part-time? Part-time will help you to build the confidence you need to now finally walk away. It's like your exit strategy. It's like your escape plan. It's like your prison break. Let's call it what it is. Sometimes it feels like you're trapped. You feel like, I don't have options. This is all I was trained to do. And you may not even have the confidence to start something else. I was like that anyway when I started. And I'm sure there's many of us, millions of us, who feel like, oh my goodness, this is all I was trained to do. I'm not sure I can learn anything else, right? The fixed mindset. Here is an opportunity for you. This could be a life-changing opportunity for you to work with a coach, because a coach helps you to overcome the mindset, the challenge, and to start implementing new habits day to day, week by week. Before you know it, within 7 days, within 3 weeks, within 30 days, you have your first 2, 3, 5, 10 clients, according to the business that you choose, and according to the strategy that you are willing to implement right now from the get-go. But I kid you not, your biggest hurdle will be your mindset. Your biggest challenge will be your mindset. Because you may not even feel coachable. You're like, oh, well, here, listen to this. There is such a thing as thinking you have arrived. Yes, there is such a thing as thinking you have arrived, where you're not willing to learn anything new. Even if all the evidence is there in front of you, you are miserable, you're not happy, your family has been falling apart. Maybe you even ended up in divorce because you were so tired, you were exhausted, you didn't have time for family. Maybe your children, maybe you hardly see your children because they don't know you. You're working hard. So all the facts could be there, but it's up to you to decide what really matters to me. Because you see, all these jobs that we have, yes, they're great jobs, absolutely. We must contribute to the human experience. But there has to come a point where you're like, okay, what am I doing in this chapter of my life? So you could be in that chapter now. That's why you're listening to this video. I want you to know that it is not hard to start getting new clients. It is really easy. It is really easy if you're willing to follow and you are coachable. You're willing to go step by step with a coach. You may be thinking, okay, get straight to it, Coach Meg. Yes, I'm getting straight to it. Number one, decide what your personal brand is. Who are you? Who do you want to become? Because you're going to be acting accordingly. Yes? You're going to step into this new identity, this new persona, but you are also willing to learn. You're willing to adapt. You're willing to think differently. Yes, so you, number one, decide what is your identity now. Not based on where you've been, what you've done, what you've accomplished, or that you didn't accomplish. It's not based on your failures, your mistakes, your successes, or your social status, or your marital status. None of that, or your religious background, none of that. You decide right now, who am I now? Because I want to build something that is long-term. You want to build something that is sustainable. And for all you know, that could be your legacy. Imagine that. Because you see, when you have a strong why, it doesn't matter what challenges you're going to face, you're not going to get off that journey. You're not going to get off that road. You're going to decide, no, I decided this. You don't want money to be the only reason why you're pushing and stressed out and pursuing this business idea, because you can only chase money up until a certain point. And then money starts running from you, because when you act desperate, money will start running from you. So, starting your own journey. I have just talked about creating your personal brand. Personal branding is something that I'm passionate and excited about. And there are several people talking about that online. You will see several videos talking about creating your personal brand. Your personal brand is who you are now. You decide, this is what I want to be. This is what I want to be known for in this season in my life. It doesn't mean that's all you're going to do. You can do many other things. Many of us have many interests. We have different things that we like and we enjoy. But in this time now, what do you want to focus on? Where do you want to put all your energy in? What are you willing to do? Like every day when you come back from work, you put in an hour or two. What is that? Do you want to be a content creator? Do you want to create a podcast? Do you want to start doing videos like here on YouTube or TikTok, on Instagram? Yes? So you have to decide, or do you want to open a shop online? Do you want to build a brand on Shopify? Or on Amazon, or on Etsy, or you can even start on eBay, right? One of the easiest ways to learn how to start selling is start on places like eBay, where you're clearing out all the clutter. Many of us have so much clutter we don't need. You may feel like, oh, I can't afford a coach. Oh, yes, you can. Just get rid of some of the things that you don't use. Yes? So clearing all those things because you decide, you know what, I have a strong why. If I'm not careful, I'm going to be in this career for a long time and I may have health issues later. I know some ex-colleagues who had health issues because they were working so hard. They were so busy trying to impress their managers. Their managers didn't care. The day you left, that was it. So you have to think about your family as well. You have to think about your own views, your own vision rather. the words won't come out. Where do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish? I remember when I first started in my healthcare career, with my personality, interestingly, we were told you're not supposed to be somebody who is so public. You are well known. You're showing your face, doing ads and all that. That was then. It was almost like a dinosaur mentality. So you can imagine with my personality, I had to try and, like tone it down a little bit because I can't be seen, I can't be heard, Anyway. Yes, for some of you who've never heard something like that before, some of you are starting in the healthcare career now, you'll be like, really? Oh, yes. So anyhow, number one is your identity. You have to decide who I am, and that's your personal brand. So you have to decide the colors. Listen, you can change this. When you start, it's just you getting familiar to how it works online, how to start working online, building a business, really. So who are you? What do you enjoy doing the most? Yes, that's the second thing. What do you enjoy doing the most now? And I know because you've been in healthcare, you probably felt like you're going to go for prison break, right? You haven't had time to explore your skill set. You're working like 6 days a week, 5 days a week. So when you're off, on your day off, you're just chilling, watching movies or binge watching Netflix. You haven't had time to even explore your gifts and talents or what you would enjoy. So I can understand that. That is why with the coaching, I help you to save time, because every time we meet on the coaching, every time we talk on the coaching, we're going to explore things you like, things that you would enjoy. And I want to ask you to just be intentional about this and be deliberate about this, because it is going to be a journey of self-exploration, self-discovery. And I know you may feel like, oh my goodness, because I know some of you are so nice, you don't even want to talk about what you enjoy. You feel like if you think about you, you are being selfish. You've been trained to think like that. Yes? You've been trained to only think about other people. And guess what? That can bring resentment later on. When you look back in your life and you think, oh my goodness, all those years I invested in my career and this is all I have to show for it. You don't want to get to that point, right? You want to start your reinvention now. Even as you step into the career, or you're midway, or you are considering, where do I go? You probably never hear this kind of speech online because I have been in the area, I've been in the industry, so I can speak from a place of authority because I understand the mindset. I remember when I was talking to a colleague, I'm thinking of walking away from nursing, I want to start my own business. The first thing she said was, what are you going to do for money? Okay. Imagine living all your life just to make money. Whoa, that's just existing. What about thriving? What about flourishing? What about becoming all you can be, discovering the highest version of you? Yes, so number one, we talked about your brand. Yes. Number two, self-audits, doing an inventory. Do an inventory of all the things that you enjoy, everything that you like. Because I kid you not, I'm not trying to draw you away from a job that you enjoy or career that you enjoy. Some of you, you're going to come back and watch this video and go, oh my goodness, shoot, she was right. Yes. Okay, what's the third one? After you've done a self-audit, you will now want to consider what would you like to see your ideal life look like. Let me slow down. What would your ideal lifestyle look like? Think about it. Take a moment. No rush. What would your ideal lifestyle look like? I know you may have this background where you were trained to be a housewife, you were trained how to be a wife, you were groomed how to serve, you're very good. Hospitality, you would get, I don't know, so many accolades. You're really good, you're very attentive, you know how to pay attention to other people, you know how to focus on the customers and clients. You can pick up on things that other people can't pick up on. You're very attentive. So stepping into running your own business, becoming a CEO, it may sound like that's out there, that's for somebody else. But you can do it too. That is why the coaching, right? You will grow in confidence. Yes, so let's take a moment. What would you like your ideal lifestyle to look like? What does your dream lifestyle look like? Let me give you some ideas. Do you want to have late mornings where you wake up a little bit later instead of 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, going through rush hour, right? Dashing to work? Would you like to wake up a little bit later? Because no matter what, you've already put a system and a strategy in place where customers can find you, clients can find you, potential clients, and potential customers can easily find you. Would you like to have that kind of thing where you're not worried about generating customers every single day? Right? So that's one picture. Would you like to have lunch different part of town today? You're not rushing to work. You're not just, making sure that you get to work on time, but you decide, I want to go and have lunch in a different place today. Would you like to work on a plan that gets you to that kind of lifestyle? That's what coaching is about. Coaching is about exploration. Coaching is about doing an audit. What did I miss out on? Maybe it even goes back to your childhood. Maybe that's why you ended up in healthcare. Maybe you didn't have options, right? Maybe healthcare was your second choice. It actually wasn't your first choice. What would you like your dream lifestyle to look like? Maybe even in relationships. Do you want to be in a relationship or stay in a relationship where both of you are worried about money or you're arguing about money? Both of you are stressed out. Oh my goodness, that is so old. That is really old, not in our internet age, where you can have a plan in place where you both know what you're working on, so that no matter what, we know we've got a plan in place. Because sometimes you can even be in a relationship that feels like prison. Yes, so as you're listening to this video, it may feel like prison break. Yes, because you're probably in a relationship where you're feeling miserable, you don't talk to each other, you don't communicate. Oh, listen up, guys. That time is gone now, not with the internet age. With the way we have so much information, people doing what they do and accomplishing their goals, why not you? That's the beauty of coaching. As a marketing coach as well, I help you how to be more visible, to grow your business, to reach more people worldwide, wherever you are in the world. It's all about strategy and system. Yes? If you have a plan in place, you can accomplish your goals in the shortest time possible. Some of you, within 6 months of working with me, there will be a huge change. Some of you, it will just take 90 days. Some of you, it will take 30 days. I don't know where your learning is. Yes? And where your mindset is right now. So that's what I'm going to talk about for now on this video, is I want you to explore, to start thinking, wow, what can I do differently? Because it's about mindset. Yes? It's all about mindset and preparing ahead of time. A wise person sees a problem coming and they avoid it. A wise person sees a problem coming and they avoid it. They don't have to wait until they get to the ditch, fall into the ditch and then try to climb out. Because sometimes you fall in a ditch, let's be honest, you fall into a ditch and you're crying out and nobody can hear you. You're calling out, nobody can hear you. And sometimes you get pushed into a ditch. Let's be honest. You get pushed into a ditch and you can't get out. But maybe you're one of those people, you're determined, you're resilient, you're like, you know what, I may have found myself in a ditch, but I'm climbing out. I have so much respect for you. I have so much respect for people who find themselves in a nightmare, in a dilemma, and you're like, I'm not going to stay here, I'm going forward. So that's what I'm going to say about this for now. So in your career pathway, if you are a caregiver right now, you've listened to what I've said right now, and I've mainly focused on nurses, but if you're a caregiver, I want you to have a mindset of, this is a roadmap for me to generate some income, to build something bigger and better. Something bigger and better. Because I kid you not, I know you may enjoy being a caregiver and all that, but sometimes it's just like, I'm done. I've done all that. You can be the sweetest, kindest person. You can love giving attention and supporting people. But sooner or later, you have to know also how to take care of yourself. You have to prepare yourself. When I retire, what will it be like for me? Yes? What will it be like for me? So you can make a plan now. So this can also be like retirement planning, thinking ahead, being a visionary. Yes? So a great coach like Coach Meg helps you to think ahead, plan ahead. I want us to have that conversation. Where do you want to be? So if you start as a caregiver, you give yourself a year or two 3 if you want, 3 maximum. Make sure you prepare yourself and get into nursing. Yes? You get into nursing, you do nursing 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, get into medicine. Why not? Right? You will have so much experience on the ground when you actually go to med school. You will have life experience, you will have seen things for yourself. And even as you work, right? You will have a different approach because you know where you're going. You're not working and you're complaining about your job, because that's the reason why sometimes people hate their jobs. People don't have a long-term plan. That's why people are not happy with their jobs, because there's no long-term plan. But you are smart. You're listening to this video and you're like, yeah, I got a plan. You can end up in med school, right? After med school, people drop out of med school if they don't like it. They feel like it's too much, depending on where you chose to be, right? You can decide, you know what, I want to start my own business. I want to be a content creator. I want to start posting videos on YouTube with what I've learned so far about life, how I got from here, how I got from there to here. You can become a content creator. You become a YouTuber where there's no limits to your income. Because if you do medicine or nursing or caregiving just for money, sooner or later it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So if you are in nursing, let's go back to nursing, right? If you are in nursing, you've just started or you've already started and you're wondering, what are my options? Listen to this. This is very important. Make sure you work in these 3 departments, because these 3 departments will give you the ability to be resilient. I kid you not. You will become so resilient. You'll be able to think on your feet. Yes? You don't have to be the sharpest person in the department. But if you can think on your feet just like that, like, okay, if you know how to ask for help straight away, if you know how to respond to an emergency, if you know how to monitor patients throughout their condition, from the time they come in until they end up in another department or they end up in surgery, wherever the person ends up going, the skill sets you develop in those departments it's ridiculous. It's amazing. You can run a whole new company after all this. Which are those 3 departments? Some of you are going to be like, yes, you're right. Absolutely, I've done that. Make sure you have a stint in the intensive care department. I don't care if it intimidates you. This is a coach speaking. I know you may feel intimidated, but come on, listen, this is for your good. Work in the intensive care department because it will teach you how not to be intimidated. It was one of the best departments that I enjoyed when I worked there. I worked in 3 different countries, intensive care in the United Kingdom, and as an agency nurse in South Africa and in another country. So I worked in 3 different countries, yes? So intensive care will help you learn how to monitor a patient, how not to react too quickly, to know when to react anyway, because you'll be monitoring patients very closely, yes? So you will learn how to think on your feet. You will learn how to be resilient. You will learn how to work with different types of personalities. You will learn how to work with people who think they're better than you. You will learn how to work with people who are clueless. You will learn how to work with people who they're just there for the money. Their heart is not there. You will learn how to work with people of all sorts of backgrounds. It prepares you for business. Yes? Another department is the accident and emergency department. People who've been involved in a car accident or had a severe allergic reaction or any emergency situation. It's one of the best departments to work. I thoroughly enjoyed it when I've done it in 3 different countries. It was amazing. Another department is theater. Whatever you do, make sure you have a stint in the theater department. In that section of the hospital, work with patients who are on, perhaps they are having heart surgery, brain surgery, or whatever seems intimidating. Just go for it. Just learn, ask questions, yes? Because you see, when you're proactive, when you show interest, the right people will teach you, the right people will support you, because you've got a goal in mind, right? Yes? Maybe you didn't make it to med school. Maybe for some reason, whatever the reason was, you didn't end up in med school. This is your chance. Life always gives opportunities, yes? Life always gives opportunities. And while you're working, you can also be studying, preparing for med school. You start studying, where do I want to be? Where do I want to specialize? That's the beauty of starting as a registered nurse. Because while you're working, you're going to see, oh, I don't think I would enjoy doing this. Yes? It will give you such a really good idea where you want to end up. So that's the roadmap. Maybe you want to end up in education. You want to start an educational company, an information products company, information products rather. Yes, in the internet age, you have so many options. And I know right now you may not be thinking about it, but take it from me, working in healthcare for many years and working as a coach, helping you to be a visionary. Think ahead. Where am I going? So that where you are now, everything you're doing now is on purpose. It's because you're going somewhere. When you have a vision, you will not allow anybody to take advantage of you. You will not allow people who take advantage of others who are not bringing their whole weight. People who are half-hearted, you will not allow people to take advantage of you. You can be nice and kind, you're looking after the patients, but you must be firm with your colleagues. You're not here to play, right? You have to be intentional about it. And when you're there, you're working like a leader, a manager, you're a visionary. Do not allow the title to limit you. Just because you're a nurse doesn't mean other people are better than you. Everybody else is an employee in their own category. And so are you. You are a great contributor to the healthcare system. Don't you forget that. Don't you dare forget that. Don't you dare forget that. But I want you to have a plan and a vision of where you're going next. That is why we're doing this, because we're talking about creating a pathway for your career. And in your career, as you move forward, because by the way, before I forget that, we're going to add one more. Maybe you want to start your own business. You can be selling beds. You can be selling healthcare supplements. You can be selling so many different products. You can become a health coach. You have so many options in this career. So with what I've said so far, I'm sure some ideas are coming across in your mind like, oh, okay, what could I do? There are so many business opportunities if you have a registered nursing background. I decided coaching because it's one of my favorites, but I also do digital marketing for small business owners, for coaches, for consultants, for authors. I also do the marketing for them. I'm actually quite active on TikTok at the moment, and sometimes I do live streams. So if you want to be a part of that, you want to be part of the membership, get in touch with me. I'm going to put my details below, somewhere in the link below, where you can reach out to me and let me know, because maybe you are actually just starting on your journey and you're just like, I'm not sure where to start, but I like what this lady's talking about. I like what Coach Meg is talking about. How do I get to one-on-one with you, Coach Meg? How do I get more information? How do I get in touch with you? Yes. So with my coaching, you will have a chance to speak with me directly, but it's a one-to-one package, yes? So I have different price points for that, and you have to work out which is the right one for you. But I kid you not, if you are coachable and you are willing to work with me, you will find that wherever you are now, it's no longer confusing. You will realize I've actually got the support. Because a coach is like part of your support system, which a lot of us need here in the West, anywhere in the world anyway. We all need a support system to help us accomplish our goals. It doesn't matter who you admire or who you like. Oh my goodness, they are amazing. They have a support system around them. And there's no reason why you can't have one. Okay? You may feel like, oh yeah, I'm just working class, I don't make enough money. Listen, it's all about mindset. You can afford the system that you need to support you to accomplish your goals. You absolutely can. Because you're investing in you. So listen, this has been a really great discussion so far. Some of you may have some questions and you're thinking, okay, I need to get started. Listen, don't take too long, right? Do not overthink it. One of the mistakes I made when I started in the online spaces, I used to overthink things because I was comparing myself with people who'd been doing this like for 5 or 10 years, whereas I'd only started maybe like 3 months. I remember I used to have to do even, selfies. I would do these videos, but at the time, filming on your phone wasn't that popular. And I didn't even know how to figure it out, but I'm glad that I learned how to do it. So eventually, in the process, all learning is never wasted. Now that I'm more proactive, now that I've been building my own business, it's just like, it's a piece of cake. I can come on here, and now we even have filters. Sometimes I don't even do any makeup. I just use the filters. So listen, the first thing, like I said, is you need to start thinking now, okay, where do I want to go in my career? Where do I want my family to be? Think about your children. Where do you want your children to be? Do you want your children to struggle like you did? I'm sure you would not want that. No good parent wants that. Do you want your children to not have any inheritance? No healthy parent, no healthy parent wants their family to struggle. Every good parent wants their children, their family to have an inheritance, to have a better life than them. That's just the way life is. So I appreciate you watching this video. Listen, make sure you leave some comments below. I'm going to go through the comments. I'm going to go through the questions, and there's somewhere down below there is a way that you can reach me. I will see you on the next video.